Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. This is episode number 375 of the Immigration Answer Show. I hope you all had a great week, that you're ready for a long weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend coming up here in the states that are United of America. We will be here for the next hour answering all of your immigration law related questions. Then I'm clocking out probably for the whole weekend. I might do a show sometime this weekend, but don't count on it. Next show will probably be next Tuesday, but you never know. I might get a little bored and want to talk to my peeps. I hope you all had a great week. Let me know how your week went. Let me know what your wins were for the week. Let me know what's going right in your life. Let me hear some good news. I need some good news. USCIS and the State Department drag us all down. They make us all bummed out. Just got hired for a really interesting case. I'm excited to sue over a green card denial. We just got hired today for that. So I'm actually going to work a little bit on that over the weekend. I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about spending time with my family. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but our house has been under construction since January. We're basically redoing the entire first floor and the kitchen, and we're slowly getting back to a sense of normalcy. And I'm excited about that. We also have just some gorgeous weather here in St. Louis, low humidity, sunny skies. So it's a nice time to be in St. Louis, which is rare. This time of year, it's usually about 100 and 89, 90% humidity. So it's pretty miserable oftentimes here in St. Louis at the end of May. The waiting room is already full. I'm already getting notices that the waiting room is full. So I'm going to go ahead and get started right away with Mike. What do you say, Mike?
Hi, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Yeah, I got a quick question. It's about my residency start date on my green card. So, I went for interview in February. So my I-130 was approved on the day of the interview. So my green card wasn't approved till May of this year. So the residency start date says February 15, which was the day I went for the interview. So I'm a little bit confused with the start date there.
So what you're telling me is, so you have your interview in February. The I-130 gets approved pretty quickly. The 45 doesn't get approved until May. Permanent residence is February.
Right.
Yeah. So what I would do is, when the time comes, treat the date for when you should file for citizenship as, I guess this is a marriage-based case.
Right.
3 years from, I would do it 3 years from the actual date of the approval notice, not 3 years from the date of the I-130 approval notice.
Okay. Okay.
The card is probably, I mean, the officer probably made a mistake. The card might just be an error, but if you don't want to lose your filing fee, I could see a scenario where you apply on the very first day you're eligible, and they say, well, we made a mistake. You should have gotten your green card in May, and your lawful permanent resident start date should have been May. And then they say, we're keeping your 725, and you got to go file all over again.
Okay.
That's not the question I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to complain that they hadn't given it to you with a date back in February, but the proper start date would have been May.
Yeah, right. But so, like, I'm like, oh, that's fine. Okay, maybe they kept it for a whole 3 months, or maybe sometimes, because my lawyer was saying something about maybe the officer was new, so like he was waiting for a supervisor and everything, so like maybe they kept it. So it was after they made an inquiry that they got it approved, actually.
One thing you might do a Freedom of Information Act request, a G639. It's free, and just ask for your whole immigration file. That's good to have later anyway. And
right.
there might be some clue in there. Maybe it really was approved back in February and it just didn't show until May. Right. But I think, just to be safe, since it's only 3 months, I would just wait the full time.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Bye, Mike. That was Mike. Let's head to Nathana. Hi, Nathana.
Oh, hi, Jim. So I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Go for it. Yep, I got you.
Okay, so I got a letter from the Department of State saying that it's been a year that I didn't contact them, blah, blah, blah. But I got my green card like a year ago through adjustment of status. So they told me in the letter to let him like send a copy of my green card through the NVC inquiry form and tell them that I adjusted my status. So that's what I did, and I got an email like 3 days ago thanking me for letting them know that I wish to adjust status in the US still. And then that they're gonna reinstate my immigration visa petition. So they didn't even read what I said. My question is, can I just ignore this, or should I like send a letter to the address that in the letter to let him know?
So why did the State Department ever even know about your case if it was an adjustment case? Did it start out as an I-130 away and then you changed that, you filed for adjustment here?
Yeah, when we started the process, the I-130 got approved in 2018, but my husband was a green card holder, so we had to wait for him to become a citizen.
Okay. And you were here the whole time?
Yes.
So they thought you were in a consular process. So then you get approved for your green card, and then they say, hey, we haven't heard from you in a year. And then you notified them. Do you have proof that, I guess we have proof that they received it because you got an email back from them saying, thank you for letting us know, even though it said stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're fine. I think you've done everything you need to do.
So can I just like ignore them? Should
Yeah,
I
I
worry
think so.
about
I
it?
mean, you could send them another letter if you want, but they're not very bright. And the important thing is you have your green card, and when you apply for citizenship, this won't be an issue.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Jim.
Bye, Nathana.
Bye.
See how dumb they are? See how dumb they are. They don't even read stuff. I talked to a client today who got a green card denied, and it was denied because USCIS didn't read what was sent to them. USCIS asked for some stuff in an RFE. USCIS then ignored everything in the RFE response and then denied the case. They're dumb. They don't know how to read. They don't know how to do their job. They don't know how to follow the rules. They don't know how to look out for immigrants. I don't even know in many cases whether it's that they're evil. I think it's just they are dumb and they're lazy and they don't want to work too hard. I mean, she laid it all out for them. Everything that Nathana told them explained the whole thing, but they chose not to. Maybe that's a good video. I'm going to write that down. Are they dumb or are they evil? And they could be both. They could be both. All right. Next up, Kelvin. Hello, Kelvin. You're on mute.
Can I be offline?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, go. Yep. Jim, I have a question.
Okay.
I have a little challenges of recent. I've been in a relationship for about 2 years. I got married. That was May 21st last year. And we've already put in submitted our papers to the USCIS. I've done my biometrics January 18th. Unfortunately, my wife said she's no longer interested on the 13th of this month. That was precisely on
She
Saturday.
what? She what? She
She's
doesn't
no
want
longer interested in the relationship.
she wants to break up.
Yeah, exactly. On the 7th, on this, so I left. He said I should leave the house. I left the house. I traveled to Maryland. On the 17th of this month, she sent all my luggages to me.
Sent what to you?
All my luggages, all my bags, luggages in the house to me. So I don't know what to do now.
Well, when did you enter the United States?
That was 2019 February.
And what kind of a visa did you have?
B1, B2.
So when you married her, you were out of status?
Oh, yes, sure.
So if you leave the United States tomorrow, you have a 10-year bar on coming back.
I know.
Is she going to withdraw the I-130?
She has blocked my lines. I could not even reach her for now. She blocked my line.
So she's out. She's out. So we have to assume either that she's going to withdraw the application or it's going to die because they might schedule you for an interview or might ask for more evidence. I mean, I guess they could approve it without an interview. That's been known to happen, and it's been pending a year, right?
Not up to a year now. That was December.
Oh,
There were 6 months.
yeah.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, it's weird. Only she can withdraw the I-130. Technically, it's approvable if she were willing to go with you to USCIS and say, yeah, I loved him. Yeah, we got married for love, but now I don't want to go through it anymore. They could actually still approve the I-130, but it doesn't sound like she's willing to do that. So I think you're back in the position you were before you married her, although now your immigration history is a lot more complicated. So
Okay.
I think if they give you the green card, not knowing that she kicked you out, that I think that's a bad thing. If they don't give it to you, obviously that's a bad thing. So I think you're in a bit of trouble.
Okay.
Because now they know you're here. Now they know that you applied, so they know. And plus, don't forget you have a obligation to notify them of your address change within 10 days. So don't forget about that.
Okay, I should do that right away.
I would.
Okay.
But then at some point you have to have a talk with her and say, hey, listen, what's the deal with the I-130? Are you withdrawing it, or what's the plan with that? That's what you need to know right now.
Okay. I will tell one of her friends to talk to her because I can't reach her. She has already blocked my line. Yeah.
Okay.
What she said she's going to withdraw the application. What do I do next?
Well, then you're back in the position you were before you filed.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good luck, Calvin.
Thank you, Jim.
Sure.
Okay.
You got it. Bye, buddy.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Brian's back. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. What's up?
Great. Well, after talking to you and all the talking to my wife and our plans, we're thinking consular processing and her leaving to go stay with her family would be best for us. Okay. She wasn't really planning to stay here, and there's reasons she wants to be with her family this summer. But now it's on us, I think, to do this, and we're trying to figure out we want to do it right the first time and not mess anything up. We had some questions when we started looking at the I-130. We have her original birth certificate from Malaysia, and I mean, it's all handwritten. I think original is probably better than a certified copy, but everything says they want a certified copy. And then it doesn't include her parents' place of birth and date of birth, which is required to be filled out in the I-130. So we don't really have a document backing that up. If we say her mom was born such a date, such a time in this place, I don't have a document that says that.
That's
so
okay.
I don't know. Okay. Sorry, the cat's up here now. All right, so that's probably fine as long as we provide the information. We don't need to find like her mother's birth certificate, for instance. It would be all right without it.
Mm-hmm.
I would think. Okay, and then my wife's always been self-employed in sales and marketing. If we put self-employed for the previous years, we don't need to track down all the employers that she was working with because she never really worked for them. But we didn't know if that looks bad or like we're dismissing the question or
whatever it is, whatever's true.
Whatever's the truth. Okay. And now she has a child from previous marriage. She has a son who's like 15, but he's not coming and doesn't, not interested in coming to the United States. But the family information portion has, me, spouse, and then says children. And we don't know, should that be all the children involved and we include him? Or is it, at the end and they say in the comments, say, Audrey has a son. He's not part of this petition. He's not coming to the States. Where no one's asking for immigration benefit for him. And then we kind of include the information, but not make it part of the application.
You list you list every kid and you say nothing about whether or not he wants to come. That's irrelevant. The question is only who are the kids.
Okay. And then the very, very beginning of the I-130, everything I've heard says, don't leave anything blank, even if it doesn't apply to you, because they're going to ask you why you left it blank. And the very first box is this for a spouse? And it says yes. And then there's a bunch of other boxes. So we don't need to put NA next to these items, right? Spouse means we have filled in that box.
Right. And that NA thing, that was a thing a few years back. It's not really a thing anymore. I mean, you can still do it where it's flat out NA, but you can answer it like a normal person, not like a USCIS person. Okay.
Okay, cool. And then the one last thing is we can do the I-130A, and she's here now. And our plan was, she's leaving June 19th, and I wanted to file this June 20th, and boom. So she could sign it, but we don't want to indicate she's here when she's not. And it says if she's in the country, she has to sign it. But then there's a spot for the date that I'm supposed to fill in, whether she signs it or not. So is it a bad idea for her to sign it before she leaves?
Why is it important? Why is it important for you to file it after she leaves?
Well, I thought she had to be outside the country for the consular processing process. Although they're not going to get it right away, are they?
You're listing an address of her overseas, like her address. You're listing the overseas address, right?
Right. Yeah, she'll be staying with her family.
And you're indicating that you want a consular process, right?
Right.
Yeah. Then where she signs it or when she signs it isn't important.
Okay. Okay, that's great. But then, so kind of a related question. She's also a French citizen, and if the French embassy had a shorter line for the consular processing, the interview list, should she request that, or would she have to be staying there, or do they want your home place of birth?
No, it depends. It depends on what address you put on the I-130. So if she had if she had an address in France, I would put that because it will be faster. But if not, then you just got to play it straight.
Okay, that's what she'll be in.
What if I have an address but I don't stay there? I work elsewhere in another country.
What if she have an address?
The address where you live.
Address where you live.
So not
not France. Even if she's working, if she's living in Malaysia and say working in for a French company online, that'd be kind of shady, huh?
Wherever she sleeps at night, that's what she should use.
Okay, wherever you're actually staying. Okay, I think that's good for us to start filling this out, and we can get it done.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya. All right. Mohammed's up next. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Jim, just I have questions. I have my uncle. He was employed by the Embassy of the United States in Saudi Arabia, and after he retired, they gave him visa to come here, and he bring all his kids under 18. Now he got a green card now 3 years ago. Now he wanna apply petition for her kid for his kids above than 18. He has to apply for them I-130 or.
So I have a U.S. citizen. He's a U.S. citizen.
Not yet.
He's a green card holder.
Yes.
And he has children who are how old?
Above 21.
Above 21. Okay.
Yes.
So yes, and the kids are outside the United States?
Yes.
And how many kids are there?
3.
And they're all over 21.
Yes.
So yeah, he'll file an I-130 for each child, and that'll go to USCIS, and that'll be pending for 4 or 5 years, and then eventually they'll approve it, and then they'll send it to the National Visa Center, and then the National Visa Center will wait for a visa to become current, and then the National Visa Center will start processing their cases probably about 9 years from now.
9 years? Oh my God. Okay, if he didn't work here, he didn't like have taxes or he can apply, right?
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter right now. It'll matter later. So later, when you get to the next stage, he'll need to be their sponsor. If he doesn't make enough money, then he'll need a co-sponsor if he's not working. So yeah, I mean, it's not right now. It's just about proving up the family relationship. Later on, when it gets to the National Visa Center, that's where all the financial stuff comes in.
Okay, the immigration, it will be like 4 to 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay, thank you, Jim.
Hey, Mohammed, see you, buddy.
Okay, see you.
All right, Sam's up next. Hello, Sam. You're on mute.
Yeah, always the problem. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Oh, it's cool. I'll turn my camera on. So the situation with me is basically, so I'm married to a U.S. citizen. We've been married since 2012. We have 2 kids together, 8 and 5. So in Canada, which is where we were from originally, we had applied for a consular I-130. And then what had happened was my mother-in-law developed some health issues, and we, at the time, what we thought was temporarily moved to the States to help her out. We genuinely thought that this was only going to be for a few months, and then her health declined quite rapidly, and she's still with us, thankfully. But she does need basically like round the clock, almost round the clock care. And so I didn't go back. Like our kids are here. I came in on a B2. Now, in the meantime, the consular I-130 was approved. But again, I'm here, and then I found out that like, if I overstay my B2, if I leave, there's all kinds of trouble. So what I'm asking is, is filing a I-485 the way to go? Is that going to be
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So you're a Canadian national, right? Sam?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a Canadian national?
Right, I am.
And your spouse is a US citizen?
He is, yes.
And your spouse is in the United States?
That's right. We're all here, the four of us, yeah.
And your spouse filed an I-130 for you when you were living in Canada?
That's right.
And when did you last, Sam, you yourself, when did you last enter the United States?
That was July of 2022.
Okay, so you've been here basically about a year. And in that time, the I-130 has been approved by USCIS.
That's correct.
And USCIS sent that on to the National Visa Center because USCIS thought that you were going to consular process in Canada.
Correct.
But since you're here in the United States and have been here for a good while, you don't want to leave the United States because you'll have a 3-year bar, or if it's after June, a 10-year bar. And so you want to adjust your status here in the United States, right?
Right.
Right. So you need to file a 485 and all the other stuff that goes along with it, and adjust your status here in the United States, and you want to include the I-130 approval notice. I don't think this is something you want to do by yourself, but it's something you can do all here in the United States, and you should do here in the United States. You should not go overseas. You'll just have to use that I-130 approval that you have to file for adjustment.
Okay, and it's like it's I guess without obviously having 2020 hindsight, but it's pretty good chances that this will work out. Like,
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so following up on that, I did do a little bit of digging, and apparently I need the I-94, right? The entrance.
Good question. How did you enter the United States?
So, well, we have Nexus. So I entered over the land border using my Nexus card, and so I checked with CBP, like their online lookup, and they don't have my most current I-94. The last I-94 they have was, and prior to this, we frequently went back and forth. They have it from like 2020.
Yeah.
But I for sure entered in 2022.
So, if I were your lawyer, I would file the case, and I would also do a CBP FOIA request to try to see if there's something else we can get off your Nexus card.
Okay.
But either way, I think that the USCIS officer is most likely going to be willing to accept your testimony as to your entry, because whether you last entered in 2020 or last entered in 2022, it doesn't matter if you're applying for adjustment and haven't left since and are married to a U.S. citizen.
Okay, gotcha.
So in other words, I would do my best to document your last entry, and of course, any anecdotal proof you have or anything that shows, even that you got gas on the trip across.
Yep, I have that original receipt still.
Yeah. So anything related to that, I think would be helpful.
Okay, understood. And very last question is we still have, so our address as far as USCIS is concerned is still in Canada. Should we do the official change of address thing in advance of the 485? Does that matter?
No.
Okay.
No, you'll just drop the 485 and use whatever address you're living at on that, and that'll be your official address.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time and the answering of the questions. Thanks a lot.
Good luck, Sam. See ya. All right, that was Sam. Let's say hi to Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine.
Hey, good timing. I'm pulling up now.
Okay, good. I was gonna say I can't talk if we're driving, so that's good.
I know. I just pulled up to the dealer. Okay, so
Awesome.
I was on the other day. Question: do I have to have my name changed before I file the I-130? And good afternoon, by the way.
Good afternoon. Say that again. I'm sorry, my wife was texting me from the airplane. What'd you
Do I,
say?
do I have to change my name before I file the I-130?
Change your name to what do you mean? Change your name to what?
Because I got married. I'm sorry.
Before
I file the I-130,
my general vote is that people keep their name until they get their citizenship.
no, for the husband, not me. I mean, I'm a citizen.
Oh, you're the citizen.
So
Okay.
do I change my name before I file the paperwork?
Whatever you want.
Okay, it's whatever I want. And also, let me take this off quickly. And also, I talked to you about he had a visa that was revoked, and why it was revoked was because of the agency that he used. There actually was being watched. The agency was being watched that he used. It was the first time he used that agency. So that's why when they issued the visa, they a few days later they called him back and took it back. I remember you said that it was kind of something wasn't right, but that's what happened.
So what's the question?
So I mean, do you think that we're gonna have an issue when I file, or I mean, just him explaining?
Yes, I think yes. What country is he from?
Jamaica.
Yes, I think you're going to have an issue, and yes, I think there's something fishy about the visa, and yes, I think it's going to be a big hurdle for you.
Even though it wasn't his fault.
Well, first of all, anything an agent does for someone when it comes to getting them a non-immigrant visa, it's always the immigrant's fault. It's not the agency's fault. The USCIS and the State Department treat it as if you can't blame your agent when it comes to mistakes on your non-immigrant visa.
Right. And
You're breaking up.
That's why they give him 10 year. That's why they give him 10 year to instead of bar him permanently, because they do understand, because this is not, I mean, he has renewed his visa, never overstayed, always was, in the right. So they did believe him, but of course, ignorance of the law doesn't make it that kind of thing. So they barred him for 10 years. So that's why I'm wondering if that's still going to be an issue.
Yes. I know you want me to say no, okay, but I'm not saying no. I think it's going to be a problem. And I think there's more to it than you know.
Well, I mean, that was it. The agency was an agency that was not a good agency.
Most aren't. Most suck. Most really screw up people's files. Yep, I hate them.
So so that's what they did to him. I mean, put wrong information that should never, wrong address, and so when so nothing that he know about. So,
but you keep saying nothing that he knew about, but they don't care. They blame him, not them. They can't punish the agency. They can only punish him.
Right. So, I mean, is there a waiver or something that we need to do ahead of time?
You can't do the waiver until they tell you need it.
Okay. So just continue to do the I-130 and just hopefully
just know that you're in for a ride. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Thanks, Lorraine.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. All right, let's say hi to Tony. Hello, Tony.
Hey, Jim. Can you hear me?
How you doing, buddy? Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, good. You might remember me or not remember me from a few weeks back.
I remember your face.
I was the one with the issue with the RFE, the medical exam that I sent in to the field office, and they said case denied. So I had gone back and forth for a little bit, and I ended up not following your advice exactly.
Yeah.
So I did not submit the I-290B.
Okay.
I took one last chance, and what I did instead was I filed a e-inquiry.
Okay.
To check on the status. Now, it was the e-inquiry. I had some problems initially because I put in the IOE number, the receipt number, and then I put in under the drop down for the subtype, I put in the I-45 family base status, and there was an error. I couldn't even submit the inquiry based on that way. I had to select I-485 other, and that somehow allowed me to submit the inquiry. And within 1 day of submitting the inquiry, I got a response back, which was that they say case is approved.
Awesome.
I didn't have it. So this is just a status update to let you know what happened. So
I love it. I love it when I'm wrong and it works out for people. So that's great.
I think I'm just lucky in this case. It was a last chance. I just wanted to take one more stab at it by submitting outside of normal processing time e-inquiry. I tried to submit something like that before in the past, but it was in the normal processing time, so they wouldn't even allow me to submit it. So I'm just glad that it worked out. But I just want to thank you and thank Andrew for your previous advice. I really appreciate you guys and what you're doing here.
Thanks, Tony. Congratulations.
Thank you. Just a quick question. So now that I have it approved, do you know when I'll actually get the green card?
It's usually like 2 to 4 weeks. It was really fast, but it slowed down a little bit.
Okay. And then is there like additional biometrics or things to do with that? No?
Nope.
Nothing. Okay. Okay. Well, thanks again, Jim. Have a great holiday.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. That was Tony with some good news. Tony got his green card. Let's say hi to Jalel. What's up, Jalel?
Hello, Jim. How are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. You remember me?
I do indeed.
Huh?
I do indeed remember you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Actually, as you know, we emailed you with my fiance for our previous lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for forward us. It was so sweet from you and professional. And we sent it by 18th, and the timeline was for 25th May, and he didn't yet.
Right.
So he told us that we will wait until Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this is first. Second of all, which I am live with you now, we would like to apply for what you will advise us to do, because it was denied for K1. Like supposedly it will be like stronger, right?
A marriage based stronger than a fiance? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So as I am resident in Qatar now because of my job, we will do the process wedding here in the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
And the authorities here require that each paperwork from administration should be authenticated by U.S. Department, which we send it, but unfortunately it takes a long time, like 4 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know, like probably timing it will be faster, or?
No, that just takes what it takes.
Okay. So when we will apply, we talk by email for your attorney with Daniel Exbolo or something. Daniel?
What about Daniel?
Yeah, he said he gave us like list of papers to prepare, like evidence, which we are working on it with my fiance. So we will apply when we get married.
Great.
Yeah. So we'll apply with you or with someone of your staff.
It won't be me. I don't handle cases anymore. It won't be me, but it'll be probably Katerina, one of the attorneys in our office who does a lot of the overseas stuff.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye, Jalal. See you, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Yep, you got it. All right. Hey, there's some room in the waiting room if you guys have been wanting to get in. Cooley can drop the link. She just did a little while ago, but she'll drop it again for you. Let me say hi to Syed. Hi, Syed. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
How are you doing, Jen? Thank you so much for taking time and bringing me up.
You got it.
I have a question regarding my I-751 denial. I just got my case denied.
Why?
Here's the story. I filed the petition to remove conditions on my green card on February 2021. And on April 30th of 2021, my case appeared as biometrics were taken. And that was the only update until April 19 this year. So that's over 700 days, which appeared my case was denied. So I got pretty anxious and panicky. I waited for the mail to arrive in the mailbox. I opened it, said that I did not responded to their RFE back in June, July 2022. But in the meantime, I have received 3 extension letters to my address. And I did not receive that. I went ahead and filed for I-290B. And I'm not sure if my attorney has filed it yet though too. And the time has passed. I contacted my attorney. Should I just wait, see what's going on, or I can submit an inquiry?
So have you moved at all since you filed the 751?
No.
Are things with your spouse still cool? Everything's okay with your spouse?
Yes, we have a son together. We are living together.
And your attorney, so an attorney filed the 751 for you and filed a G28 with it?
Actually, no, I filed 7. I'm sorry, could you repeat that question again? I guess I misunderstood.
The 751.
Yes.
Did you file that with an attorney or without an attorney?
No, I filed it myself.
Okay, when did the attorney get involved?
Just May 15, this year, May 10.
After the denial.
I hired the attorney. Yes.
And you don't know if the attorney filed the 751, the 290B?
And yes, I'm not sure he has filed it yet because I haven't got any response yet.
That's not good. And you're saying that since you filed the I-751, you've received those letters that say, hey, previously we granted you a 1-year extension. Now we're giving you an 18-month extension. Then you got one that said a 24-month extension. Then you got one that said a 48-month extension, all at that same address.
Correct. And also one thing I should bring it up, when I filed first to remove conditions on my green card, that was November of 2020, which I made one error. That was my wife's signature and her birthday. That was due to a sleepless night with our son. He was born that day. And they did mention that I filed 90 days before, so I can go ahead and file. They have that on the record. They sent over all the packages that I sent them to the same exact address that I'm living right now, back in time.
So they've definitely known your right address many times.
Yes.
And the denial notice itself came to your right address.
Yes.
So the only thing that didn't come was the most important thing, which is the request for evidence.
Correct.
Do you know what they asked for on the request for evidence?
It does not mention in there on the denial.
What city do you live in?
I live in a suburb of Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, so I would do a couple of things if I were you. Number one is I would find out immediately if that attorney filed your 290B. Did you pay them to file the 290B?
Yes, I paid the cashier check for the Department of Homeland Security, $675 for the fee filing, and half of his payment. We did a payment thing to proceed with that.
Okay, so you need to say, hey, I need to know today, and send him an email right now. I need to know today, by the end of the day, whether or not my 290B was filed. If so, please send me the receipt notice today.
Okay.
I might also think about suing them because I think a lawsuit would be a lot faster for you than the 290B, but it's up to you if you want to spend that money. But I think they would reverse themselves pretty quickly if you sued them, especially in Detroit. That's a good place to sue.
Yes. Also, Mr. Hacking, I wanted to bring that to your attention that I think they've been misreading my case a lot, like 700 days plus waiting. I just sat back thinking that USCIS will do its thing respectively because of the backlog due to COVID. But then I just got the shock of my life like that.
Yeah, I mean, most cases are taking 2 years still.
Yes.
So that's not entirely unusual, as dumb as it is and as crazy as that is. But yeah, I'm sure that was quite a kick in the pants when you got that denial notice, especially if you have a kid together and everything's cool.
Yes, we did submit some further evidences for our marriage.
What was your marital status at the time what was your immigration status at the time you filed for your green card?
So I arrived here on K-1 visa, and
so you've always been in status.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is really dumb. That's a big mistake. I think suing them would help. You should email me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Hacking. How do I email you, sir?
So if you send an email to info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, and say, my name's Syed and I was on the show with Jim right around the 40-minute mark, then they'll find you and track you down.
That will be wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Bye, Syed. See you, buddy.
Bye. See you. Bye-bye.
Isn't that crazy? He hasn't heard from his attorney as to whether or not something that had to be filed within 30 days has been filed. That just boggles my mind. Boggles my mind. All right. That was Syed. Let's say hi to Arzu. Hello, Arzu.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. If you remember me, I called you a few episodes ago.
I remember you're from Afghanistan, and I remember you have something pending. I can't remember what it is, but I can barely hear you. So if you could talk a little louder, that'd be good.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I told you about my case situation, but maybe you won't. Okay, let me tell you. I'm from Afghanistan. That I told you about my case that my application from my mom on 2017, and I got my I-130 approved on 2019. And after that, because of the COVID-19, everything was messed up, and I got my medical on 2021 in Afghanistan, and I did. And after that, as we know about the situation of Afghanistan, and I live.
Sure.
Yeah, I got my interview there, but I didn't get interviewed there. I came in United States. When I came here, I applied for adjustment of status. When I apply here, I get my biometrics, and they send their notice about the RFE. They ask about the tax, and after that, from last week, I got my RFE for the medical. When I did my medical and I submitted, after 3 days ago, I got the denial notice. It says it denied notice that you petitioner by your mom, and your mom, she has abandoned her green card.
Why did they say that?
I don't know, because maybe that's because of this, that my mom spent the time more than 6 months out of United States.
Yeah.
Maybe it says because of this, because my mom is now here in United States, and when she spent the more than 6 months outside of the United States, that's because of the a lot of issues, that because of my father, that he was sick, and after that the COVID-19, she was stuck there in Afghanistan, and after that the situation of the Taliban, she was stuck there, and now she is here. And what should I do? Can you give me the advice? And they said, and they told me in the denial notice, you can send us the appeal.
Can you send me the denial notice? I want to take a look at it.
Okay, I will send you on your email address.
Yep.
Okay.
If you email it to me and say, Jim asked to see this, send me the denial notice, and then I'll email you back.
Okay, then you're gonna tell me that what should I do?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I will send you. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thanks, Arzu. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. All right. Let's say hi to Maz. Maz, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you, Jim? Thank you so much for taking my call.
Of course.
All right, so I have a couple of questions. Some about the forms and some just about submitting. So a little background: I'm on an H-1B visa here. My H-1B is valid until October 2024, but they stamped my visa and only gave it for a year, which expired in April. So that doesn't matter, right? I'm still in status because the H-1B is until October 2024.
They stamped? You mean the assholes at CBP?
What is that? Like,
or the people at the visa itself?
The visa itself, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're fine. So
Okay.
let's back up.
Okay.
So is this your first H-1B or your second H-1B?
This is my first H-1B.
And what was your status before you had H-1B? Were you on an F1?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to school, you're on an F1, you get OPT, and then you apply and you get selected in the lottery, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
I guess that would have been like a year and a half ago.
Yep.
And then you get an I-94 for basically 2.5 years, 3 years of H-1B status, and that's up through October of next year.
Yes. And now I got married.
Wait, hold on. I want to get to that.
Okay.
So then, did you leave the United States, and then after you're on your F1 and after you got selected after you got your H-1B, then you went overseas and they gave you a visa?
Yep, that's because you have to get it stamped.
And the visa that they gave you did not track the visa expiration date that is in your I-94 off the H-1B approval notice, the one from USCIS.
Yes. No.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So that, in answer to your question, yes, the USCIS one trumps the visa stamp. Now, if you leave the United States after the visa stamp and before the I-94 expires, you're going to have to go back to the embassy, which is why they did that, because they're evil that way. But go ahead.
That's what I heard. So I don't plan on going back.
Yeah, good. Because now you're married to who? A U.S. citizen?
A U.S. citizen, yes.
So now we can say, screw y'all with your H-1B. I'm getting a green card.
Yeah, the faster way.
Yeah.
But so we're filing some forms, and on I-864, it's a bit confusing. So like I have it right here. It's part 5, and it says, if you are married, enter 1 for your spouse. But the spouse is also.
Here's the great thing. I don't, because I own a law firm with a lot of people that work here, I don't ever have to fill out an I-864 again. So I actually can't tell you whether or not to put 2 or 3, because I know that's your question. I don't know the right answer, whether it's 2 or 3. And I can't tell people how to fill out forms just generally if I'm not their lawyer. So just generally, I know that's really confusing about whether or not you count the person twice or not, but I don't know the answer.
Okay, that's okay. So the other question would be, so if my spouse qualifies for the income sponsorship, she earns way above that, so we don't have to include my income.
You don't have to, and you shouldn't anyway. They're not supposed to include it. You're just supposed to. The whole question is whether your spouse can support you, whether you're a millionaire or make no money. It doesn't matter. It's all about your spouse's income.
Okay. And then there's another, I think on one of the forms, maybe I-485, where it's public charge ground of inadmissibility.
Yeah, you're not likely to become a public charge.
Oh, okay. All right. And then
you're fully employed as an H-1B worker. You have a college degree, so you're not going to be a public charge.
And I'm sorry I'm bombarding you with questions.
You're fine.
I just have a list. So, and then so we're filing all the forms together. I-130, 130A, 485, 64, 31. Everything is going in one package. Is there a particular order that they prefer? Like,
we always do I-130, I-130A, I-485, 765, 131, I-864, and then of course you're going to include the medical now because that'll cut down on the chances of you having a green card interview.
Yep, I already got that done as well. So when it comes to the evidence, some forms ask for the same evidence, so I should make several copies pertaining to So the evidence can go as like one package, all the forms attached, and all the evidence relating to each package can just be at the end. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then so for when it comes to the checks, I mean, I was happy that I found that I don't have to pay the fee for 765 and 131.
Yep. So you'll do 2 checks: Department of Homeland Security, 535 and 1225.
And then the biometrics fee.
No, that includes the biometrics.
Oh, that includes the biometrics.
535 and 1225.
Oh, okay. All right. And then so my passport is also expiring in December, this coming December. I assume that wouldn't make a difference. I mean, of course, I'm going to renew it soon. I can do it online, luckily. Okay. All right. And then, so I'm also going to, I'm working full time and then taking classes online, but I'm moving to Ithaca as well to take some classes on campus. But I have this 2-month period where I'm going to be living temporarily in Iowa. Currently, I live in Minneapolis. So should I file like 2 separate Form AR-11s? I don't know what even though the move to Iowa is less than 60 days and it's just a temporary move until I move to New York.
So, but then once you move to New York, that's going to be your permanent address?
Yeah, at least for 1.5 years.
So I would take the position that your official address is your Minnesota address up until the end of your time in Iowa, and then your next address is New York.
Okay. All right. And then there's also a part of if the beneficiary native language does not use Roman letters, then you have to write it in your native language. I don't know if that.
True.
Okay. I have to write that. Okay. And then, so I'm also filing for I-131, and I intend to use it for multiple trips because my wife and I, we also plan on going back for our wedding ceremony, but we also plan on going back before that. So should I attach like a additional information form saying, okay. All right. I guess that is it. Oh yeah, one more. So for the lockbox, let's say what lockbox I need to file on the website, that's the lockbox I should submit. Like I know the one in Des Moines has less like time showing on their website.
You don't get to pick. You just file it where they tell you to file it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I guess those are all my questions.
Bye, Maz. See you, buddy. You got it. Sai made me laugh. Bro, if you got the money, just hire Jim and make it easy. But I have an apology to make. Everybody, sorry, hold the line. I was supposed to wait until Bader got here. Bader didn't get here till 3:49, and Bader wants me to wait. I'm not supposed to start the show till Bader gets here. That's what he said yesterday. So sorry about that, Bader Yusuf. But we had to get started, buddy. You didn't miss any juicy drama. You're good. No juicy drama today. It's Friday. Everybody's chill. It's a holiday weekend coming up. We're all looking forward to getting out of here. I'm going to talk to Kigozi. Kigozi.
Hey, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for choosing me somehow.
Sure. What's up?
So I filed for asylum in 2013. So it's been it's coming close to 10 years.
10 years? Wow.
Right. So recently I was able to, I reached out to, I think, the Congress guy. And then, they had an inquiry with USCIS. They got back to me with the processing times. And then I expedited my own case. And then emailed them, and it's coming to like a month. When I tried to send them like a follow-up email, they haven't yet made a decision.
Wait, so when did you enter the United States?
In 2013 September.
And when did you apply for asylum?
2014.
Within a year,
before the 1 year mark.
Okay. So have you had your asylum interview?
No. So all I've had is fingerprints. I think I've had fingerprints twice, and that's pretty much it. When I go to like check case status, it says interview. Next step is interview, and that's pretty much. It's been like that for like a year now.
Which asylum office has jurisdiction over your case? Do you know?
Houston.
And without going into too much detail, has your case over time gotten stronger, or has it stayed the same, or what?
Stronger.
Okay. So in a case like this, I mean, a case that's been waiting for 10 years or 9 years for an interview, no one is going to fight me if I file a lawsuit and say Kigozi's been waiting way too long for an interview on the asylum case. Like no one's going to challenge. No one's going to say 9 years is a reasonable amount of time. So I'm very sure that I can get you an interview and an interview within 2 or 3 months and a decision a month or so after that. I have no doubt in my mind, right? Because of the long delay. But whenever a case has been on the shelf for that long, what we recommend is that people have us review the file, work with you to make it strong and up to date, because once I sue them, you're going to be in an interview within 4 to 6 weeks. So I'd rather take our time, get the case as strong as we can make it, then sue them, and then go from there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So what are the next steps? Like, should I just email you? Like, what should we start from here?
Yeah. If you have, do you have a digital copy of your asylum case?
Yes, I do have everything.
Yeah. Email it. Did a lawyer file it or did you file it?
The lawyer filed for me, and for some reason she, I stopped using her. It's a long story.
Okay.
She didn't follow up. Long story.
Yeah. But you have a copy of it all.
Yes, I do.
And you're sure like nothing's happened to the case that she just ignored or anything. You're sure it's still pending.
Yes, it is. Because I've reached out to USCIS recently and emailed them.
They said,
yeah.
Okay. That's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah. Send it over to me and I'll look at it over the weekend. And I'll email you back.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jim.
Bye, Kagozi. See you, buddy.
Bye.
I'm sure I'm probably not saying his name right. All right. Angel's been waiting for a while. Angel, how you doing, bud? Can you hear me?
Hi, I'm doing good. Yes, I hear you.
What can I help you with?
Yeah, hi, I got a question. Back in my first case got picked up by immigration in 2004, and I lived in the States since I was 4 years old. I went to school in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, lived there all my life. My mom's a U.S. citizen. She was born. And back in when that immigration picked up my case in 2003, we tried to file an N-600, but they only gave us like 30 days to do the process since I was incarcerated with them. They gave us 30 days only, and my mom couldn't find a month. They needed like a year to verify she was in the States while she had me, and then we needed 1 month to verify the process. She only had like 11 months of paperwork, and they wouldn't give her extend another week. That immigration didn't want to do it. Then back in 2010, I ended up going back without permission or nothing, and they ended up catching me again. So they sent me back to Mexico. And I've been here I completed their 10-year sentence. I want to know if I'm able to fix to get my status back, because I got, like I said, my mom's a U.S. citizen. I got 2 kids that are born in Iowa, and they're already 20. They're already over 21.
So, you think that you're a U.S. citizen?
Yeah, because my mom was born. My mom was born in El Paso, Texas.
And were you saying that you think that if you'd had more time to respond to a request for evidence on the N-600, that your mom could have proved
we would have been able to prove it, because she was waiting for documents from the state of Texas, because she used to have when she lived in Texas, she was getting help from the state from my sister, because my sister's born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So she was getting WIC and everything and Medicare from the state to verify that she was living there, and they wouldn't give her the time. So I just gave up.
I understand. Has she since gotten that documentation that she wasn't able to get before?
I try to file the paperwork from the UCS account, but I can't. They asked me for my A number, but there's no way I can get it because it's been so long since I've known my A number.
Okay, but is your mom still alive?
Yeah, my mom lives in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay, so you had said that there were some documents that she needed to get from the state of Texas. Did she ever get those documents?
But when they told her that it wasn't gonna do anything, she just never proceeded to do it.
Okay. Well, I think this is a case we could help you with. It's a tough case, but I think it sounds like you might be a U.S. citizen. So, if you don't have any immigration paperwork. You don't have your old deportation file or anything?
No, when the last deportation, they didn't give me no paperwork.
So
I got deported. My last deportation was in 2012, because I've been here almost 12 years now in Mexico.
Which court was it that deported you?
Down in Levis. First they took me to the federal building, but the judge from the federal department, he said he didn't want to proceed because he saw me as a U.S. citizen. The only problem that immigration wouldn't see me as a U.S. citizen. So they didn't. So the judge didn't want to proceed with their request to give me federal time.
I would be happy to take a look at your case. It's not going to be a cheap case. It's going to be an expensive case, but I think you might be able to come back.
Okay, that's no problem as long as I can get this ball rolling. Because after 12 years, I'm ready to see if there's something that can be done about this case.
Okay. Send me an email or call the office and say, my name's Angel and I was on the show with Jim. I need to talk to him about whether or not I'm a citizen and what we can do. I'm probably going to need to talk to your mom too. I'm probably going to need to talk to your mom because she's probably the key to the whole thing. Okay.
All right. Okay. So I'll just email you.
Yeah. Where were you born?
I was born here. I was born in here in Juarez. Ciudad Juarez, across the border down from El Paso.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let us know, and we'll be happy to try to help. Okay.
Okay. I appreciate it. Have a good afternoon and good weekend.
You too. Thanks. All right, everybody. On that note, we'll wrap for today. Next show's probably Tuesday, but if you're not on our text list, you should be 314-470-3300 in case I do a show over the weekend. I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope you all do something fun. I don't know if that video is live yet about the boyfriend-girlfriend video. Did that go today? I think it comes live on Sunday. I don't know which one came live today. I did 2 this morning. So anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on, everybody who came on. And